Hello, we are back with another banger, or I was told this game is a real banger. This is Karl M versus Brezel. Brezel is a newcomer, so he's playing the first time in the World Championships, and he's just installed the game the first time a couple of days ago. The crazy thing is that he's already the best newcomer at this point in the match. I think this is one of the last matchups of the loser bracket. So I think the winner of this match goes into the finals of the loser bracket. Yeah, so very interesting here. The guys told me this is a great match, so I'm curious to see what will happen. On the lower right we have Karl M with Skrin, getting some warriors ready here. And we have Brezel on the top left with GDI Talon. The Skrin player is Harvester 11. That's not a big surprise. I think that's his main pick for Skrin. Brezel is going with Talon, which I think is the most played GDI faction and a very favorite of many players. We see some Grenadiers here not being upgraded to EMP. He's not going for the Olderics, so will be interesting what we see here. Nobody's playing very aggressively, even though this map is good for rushes. Has quite close distance and wide open field, so you cannot really defend here in the beginning. Later, of course, you can close these openings here, but you always stay like in artillery range of the opposite side. So this map is always quite aggressive. Okay, he takes now the Olderics very well. You should always do that, because just upon capturing you get the money of the engineer back if it's an empty Olderic. So the first capture is for free if you don't lose the engineer before you capture it. Okay, he's going for the MCV. That's very good to see from newcomers, that they know you need to scale up, you need to get a little bit more construction yards. Of course, this is not like Rügenwalder, or this is not like two sides, so this map is not as crazy and explosive. So you don't need like 10 MCVs to scale, but you should have a few. It's always good to be not wiped out by some funny bomber run on your single MCV or something like that. He's going for Orcas. This is interesting. It's very nice to see that actually helicopters have now found a place in the game. In the past, like last year, World Championships, nobody built helicopters who knew the game or understood how it works. Because the big change that happened recently is that helicopters now have no longer ammo. So they can shoot as long as they want. They never run out of ammo. So this differentiates the helicopters from the planes. The planes still have ammo, they have to go back, but planes just carry a much better punch in one go. High burst damage, very fast planes, and helicopters have had their fire rate reduced. So they shoot slower. But now they have infinite ammo, which totally changes like how you use the guys. When you're harassing and when you're overwhelming the enemy especially, that's what you do with helicopters. With planes, it's more about taking out armies, doing like precision strikes somewhere. But it's less about going in the back of the base and taking out all these harvesters or so. That's something you do with helicopters now. I mean, of course, there's still the bomber runs where you just take out power plants and war factories. But if the enemy does not have any defense in the air, helicopters are now better. Okay, the game is very defensive. He's just like collecting orcas. Oh no, now it starts. He's going for the harassment. Nice, from both sides at the same time. He will lose these orcas both. On this side, a little bit of success, but the Storm Riders come and they give the Orcas a hard time. Okay, so I think we have now seen a short harassment. Then Skrin decides, okay guy, you want violence? You can get violence, no problem. So the long-range artillery systems, they deliver. But the same goes for the air artillery units he has. So I think both armies are not really quite a good answer to the other army. So they're both missing like point defense laser to stop all this artillery bombardment. Then the juggernauts can just deliver insane damage, especially to these light armored ranged corruptors. Now he's moving in. That's very likely a very bad move, because these channeler tanks with the discs, he has chosen a disc upgrade, so again, point defense lasers would be good, but he's losing his whole army, looks like. So looks really bad for Brezel here. I think that might be over soon, because he has nothing left in the bank, and these tanks and these aircraft are big numbers, but the Orcas are not handled at all. They can just shoot freely. Just what I said, if you don't have any air defense, helicopters are crazy. Now there comes a Mammoth MK2. Will it stand its ground and defend the base? I guess that's... Oh, he's going to kill it. I just wanted to say the Mammoth is going to save him. But actually the Orcas are the guys that save him. Wow. I thought he lost, but okay, now maybe he has lost. There's an Interloper. Interloper is going for the air damage. Another Interloper incoming in the mix, but he's turning around and takes out the Interlopers now. Wow. I think he can defend this still. He needs to take out the Interlopers. He should not lose his air units. But he has successfully stopped the Devastator warships. I am impressed. These Orcas are now upgraded. The early Orcas were without upgrade. They have better fire rate. I guess a good decision. I mean, he could also have taken the armor-piercing missiles, which would be better against these heavy airships. Would be a good decision in some point, but against the Interlopers, it's better to have the fire rate guys. The Mammoth, I guess, not too bad choice, but he needs point defense lasers. That's what's missing here. The battle tanks took Reflector, really bad choice here. There's no energy weapons shooting on the ground at all. They are all projectile based. Scrin, of course, is normally energy weapons heavy, but in this case, it's not the case. So, these battle tanks are crap. And now it looks even like he's turning it around, and his go is making it, but no, he needs to leave. Actually, the Challenger tanks, they counter the Mammoth. They do a lot of damage, but they miss the target. Wow. The Mammoth MK2 can run away from projectiles. That's something you rarely see. Okay, so now it's regrouping time for both players, I guess. It's a good match. The guys were not like hyping their game or like over exaggerating. They were telling the truth that it's a good match. I mean, they told me, I'm not sure if it's the first match that was really good or the second one, but the first one is definitely good. So I'm not sure if they will like harvest the ore. That would be crazy. They like empty the whole ore field here on this map, and then the game goes in this insane who has resources left mode. At least it's like the Vice World Champion of last year against the newcomer. So the newcomer is absolutely delivering here, and this is a great entry. We're all very impressed, I guess. He's already best newcomer of the year at this point. But, I mean, he can also become like third place, and he could even become the world champion, of course. This all is possible. Here's a big mistake, the upgrade center. He should plug an upgrade on it. But that's something you might not learn in your first days of playing the game, but he already shows very good stuff. Okay, the Orcas still cannot really deliver. That he took out a few harvesters. Okay, the fight is still raging. Very interesting. Maybe we should also look at the graphs. So the earnings of the screenplay are quite high, a bit higher. So that means the GDI player is actually taking the better trades. The army of both is quite the same. Scrin had a larger army. That was, I think, the turnaround by the Orcas. Very interesting. You can also see what they're building now. Okay, so the more shrimps, more flying shrimps for Scrin. More interlopers against air. So he's saying, I'm prepared, guy. This time I will have my air defenses ready when your Orcas come. Oh, the Orcas are harassing again, and he sends interlopers. And Orcas on the other side also coming. Wow. This is really good. Really good. There's no air defense now on the right side, and he's running left to right. So he keeps the screen player on his toes. I think he should like leave now, or he will lose all the Orcas against so many interlopers. There's not a... Oh wow, he really leaves here. That's great. This slingshot anti-air tanks on the other side, but against this huge number of artillery airships, it's not gonna work out. I think he could even run through the base and just collect artillery impacts and destroy buildings that way. More Orcas. I think they are the MVP now for him. The question is what happens if these quite like one of the best anti-air units in the game, the interlopers. If they start fighting against the Orcas, what then is going to happen? But I think we'll find this out. Here the Orcas really go for the fight against the interlopers. I'm not so sure if these trades make sense. The Orcas go down quite fast. Same on the other side. That's, if we look at the army craft, I'm quite sure. Yeah, the GDI player is taking a bump, a recent bump, and the sprint player is not taking such a bump. Could be because sprint produces more in the meantime, but I'm sure the Orcas were a loss here. He's now also putting planetary assault warships in the mix. So these have like armor piercing lasers. The lasers are really strong against heavy tanks. This means Mammoth Mk2 will have a huge problem against these, since they can tank quite a lot of the shrimps, but not so much of the lasers. He's going for a push. That's very interesting. I'm not so sure if this is something he can win here. He's also splitting his army on all three sides. An interesting move. Okay, he has also reflector armor. No, this is still the same tank. He does not have ray gun titans. Ah, he has titans. And they also have reflector. Okay, my intuition was right, or my I don't know. That's really bad. He still needs PDL defense. He does not have it. Oh my god. Okay, the rocket mercenaries, they deal damage here. They do a good job. Oh, that's so unfortunate. They just melt them. The rocket mercenaries go to the left. Why not? But this was a heavy blow. It was a bad engagement. And the Raygun Titans, he has the same useless upgrade on them. I mean, it's not totally useless anymore because these warships, they are now energy-based weapon systems. So if we look at it, we see here heavy 150%, reflector 25% damage. So the planetary assault warship really deals only minor damage against reflector units. That's exactly what you can see here. It's just shooting like crazy, but not really dealing a lot of damage. With the ray gun upgrade, it can no longer shoot on air, otherwise it has like a secondary rocket. It's again looking really bad for GDI. I'm not so sure if this time he can make it, and if he can like send some Orcas and just take out an insanely big air armada. Because now there's interlopers in the mix. He's trying it, he's doing it. I'm not so sure. This is in Hailstorm MLRS, so cannot shoot on air. So now he's like grinding through the base. I think that's the end of the GDI player. He will now lose. Wow, he even uses force field. I always keep forgetting force field, so... Wow, insane move using the force field. Maybe he's a CNC veteran and knows all the stuff already from playing Command & Conquer, so he has not to learn everything how it works. But using force field in such a situation, just buy some fucking time is nice. That's what you want to do. Very nice, very nice. The interlopers here are like sacrificed, that's good for GDI. Orcas now come to the top and they wipe out the air army again, but the losses are heavy. The buildings being erased is not just one or two, it's half, or nah, half is is an overstatement, but some substantial buildings, especially tech center, hurts a lot. He cannot build like the advanced units like the Mammoth MK2 now until he has rebuilt the tech center. That's absolutely bad. Oh, he has rebuilt the tech center, or maybe he had a second spare tech center. I don't know. The upgrade center he also lost, and you cannot build a spare one of that. So now he handled the army. Oh, he's harassing in the meantime from the side with some orcas. Very nice move. But now they're being handled. There's more orcas from the top. I can just repeat, what a match. What an insane match. Everything is happening everywhere. I'm not even on 200%. We're watching 100%. And it's still very intense game. Very good game. This one has reflector armor, which is nice, but he cannot deliver any damage, maybe to the interlopers. But so many ships, they will fry him even though he has the armor. So the pilots of the orcas also do some damage, but it's just machine guns against buildings, so it will take ages. New stuff comes in. I'm not so sure if the slingshots are a good answer here. They're very lightly armored. They're mostly against light air units. They're not really a good answer to heavy air units, and he will lose all of the stuff, I think, here. I'm not so sure if this makes much sense. Well, but not too bad. Once the shield is down, the slingshots at least kill something. But they are still like getting fried. The rocket mercenaries are a much better answer, even though there's some point defense lasers. Once they are down, the guys, they are great. So GDI is back in the game, I guess. The army craft says it's equal value. The earnings craft says equal value. Both are down a lot. The fields are getting empty. The harassments have delivered. What a game. Insane. So here's another fight. He's losing his orcas. Stuff is being fried. Orcas already down here. He's putting so many orcas. Oh my god. He has to back down. The rocket infantry is the perfect answer to this army. He cannot do much against infantry. The interlopers only take down air. They are only good against heavy tanks. So if he goes for the fight, GDI would win this, even though the army is cheap. But his composition is not an answer. The orcas take down the anti-air building. The other orcas will take down the signal transmitters. Super annoying. You have to rebuild this to get some carriers in the game. Nice, nice, nice. Now these guys are without air defense because he pulled them all down for the orcas. Then the orcas here can do some stuff. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, the corruptors, they will now just acid kill all the infantry. They are insane counter to infantry. You cannot have an answer to everything. But this game is indeed insane. So now I think it looks like GDI is winning. I mean, I'm sorry, I have to... I'm constantly making some guesses. I think it's just guesses who's going to win. But it looked a lot like GDI was about to win now. But now he's on the back foot. The left part of the field is totally not mined. But this, I don't know, this screen base, it looks so thinned out. He's absolutely not caring about the infantry. I'm curious what happens now. He will lose the orcas for sure. And he goes back now. Really not caring about the infantry, wow. So GDI is not really having stuff. So is he out of money or? Yeah, both are out of money. Both are just like playing paycheck to paycheck. Absolutely not caring for those guys. Now he killed them. Okay, now the game has taken a slower pace. But the ore is really empty soon. Wow. I think I said in the beginning, if they would clear out these ore fields, I would say insane. Absolutely insane. But it looks like they're going in this direction. Wow. Orcas gathering again for the funny harassments. Nice. But I think GDI player is a little bit missing this final, this chunk, an army that can actually answer this unit composition of the screen player. But maybe if he just builds orcas like crazy, he can take out the interlopers and overrun him. I'm not so sure. Because it's a lot of orcas again. Not so many interlopers. He's already selling buildings so he can get the refineries close to the fields. Same has happened here. Taking out the anti-air. Oh, trading with the anti-air building is costly, yeah. But now he has to go to the other side. Wow. Super annoying harassment coming from both sides. Really successful. This was just a few orcas on the left side. Now, if he can save the orcas on the right side, it would be insane. Because now it's no longer like just do damage and get out and nice. You have to conserve some units, not like this, I guess. You need everything for that fight, for that final fight that's going to decide the game. Oh my god. Okay, he's sacrificing his army into this army. Into this air blob combined with the poison acid guys, corruptors. He lost his whole army, he just sacrificed it into there. Wow. But I think his idea is I need to put pressure on this game. I need to pressure him. That's how we win here. But I'm not so sure if he really needs to pressure him at this point. I think at this point you want to take better trades. It's all about money value. Every hit you do, you need to do more damage than you lose. It's not so important to keep your enemies stressed anymore. The field will be mined and there will be only like 1 or 2 oil derricks yet. Okay, he's now heavily going for the oil derricks. Is he? Oh, he has more oil derricks. Wow, respect. Newcomer is ready with the oil derricks. Unbelievable. So now again they come from both sides, but I think this harassing is no longer a good idea because the screen has just adjusted so much to this crap. I think it was annoying for so long now that he no longer is going without anti-air buildings and he has so many interlopers. Okay, here some tanks pushed to the side, why not? Take out some interlopers is always a great thing. Taking out harvesters has limited use now because these fields will be empty soon anyway. Same is for this field, but it's still a lot bigger than these 2 small patches here. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit bigger. Wow, now he's coming from the other side. I'm not really sure why he thinks he needs to make pressure like this. It's not necessary. You don't need to take these crazy fights where like these stationary point defense turrets are supporting. Where you're running into all this defense stuff. It's not smart. This might cost him the game. There's no reason, if you're the harassing one, if you just bite off things here and there, if you have more oil derricks, he might not know that, but I mean the way he's flying through with orcas, he can know it. He has more oil derricks, he has more ore patch left. There's not really a necessity to do this engagements, these crazy all-in pushes, and I think that's will be his end. If he can defend this again, I will freak out completely. Normally I would like stand up and throw around my chair, but I'm in a hammock, so it's not possible to do that. But I don't think this time it's not possible. There's interlopers, and there are a lot of interlopers, and the orcas are gone now. So The advanced guard towers are cool here. They're helping each other, but there's not like many of them. Only like 3. The losses are heavy. The army is still big. The point defense is doing their thing against the Orca rockets. So if all this crazy stuff is staying together and each unit helps out the other unit, it's very strong. And in this case here, I think GDI is done. But it's again no anti-air, right? This, again, the orcas will turn the tide. Is this crazy or is this crazy? Okay, now the anti-air is shooting, taking out these guys. The orcas are again turning this battle. Okay, wait a second. Is GDI really winning this after this fight? I'm not so sure. GDI can win this, yeah? I mean, wow. But there is no more power, so the oil derricks are not running. He has no Conyard left. Wow, he really needed to rebuild an MCV. Wow. So this thing was also almost down. And then this MCB would have never come out of the factory and he could not rebuild anything. Wow. So now he needs power, like now. The interlopers are coming back into the mix. He should have attacked with the orcas instantly. There's no more harassing time now. You need to handle the army. If you don't handle the army, you lose the little rest of your base. The oil fields are almost done. Ore fields. Insane match. Absolutely insane match. I would stand up and throw my chair around, I guess. Don't waste your orcas, man. Don't do this. This is not good. Shoot the interlopers. It's not about harassing some power plants away. You need to trade, man. So if you like matches that go back and forth and like are exciting till the very last moment, this is your match of the tournament, I think. I mean, we have to see what we will see in the finals, but there's also the final of the loser bracket might also be interesting. Okay, but this time it's over for real. I think well-deserved victory. The harassing was insane. Yeah, he's focusing for the oil fields, I think, for the oil pumps, and then Brezel gives it up. Insane match. Wow. Respect. But I think we're not even leaving yet, because there is one more or two more matches. Terminated. So Brezel has another chance to win. Battle control initialized. And he's playing good, so well, maybe he will. Yeah, I think that's the second. That's the we have just seen. Okay, I think that's the other match. Brezel picks China now. That's, I think, the tank general. Okay. It's an insane pick. I think as a newcomer, China is not easy to play. The tank general, Tahun Kwai, is a good decision. Because especially the Overlord with all the bunker missiles can take out the Armada of Scrin quite well. Tanks a lot. Can get point defense lasers, so no artillery bullshit. You can, I think the tank general even can get upgrades on the Gatling tank, so you can get reflector Gatling tanks. That's a great mix against the airships of Skrin. It's really slow, but on this map it might not really matter because anything is pushed through the middle anyway. So it doesn't matter really much. You can be the one who pushes into the other base. And then the Skrin airships, they have to fight. You cannot just like fly somewhere else and take out the base and come back. I mean, you can try that, but it's not usually not working with the airships. You need to push and not harass. So I think both again go for like the we have time game. There's no need to hurry. He's now scouting with a helix. Good idea, but armor upgrade. I would scout with the sensor upgrade, but okay. Your decision, man. I'm not so sure. Okay. Machine gun against the fortified building. I think from the point of view of Karl M, this is annoying, but does not mean a lot. He's just building the same mix of units. He's getting the disc channeler tanks, the corruptors. Why not? Because it worked. It was, but oh, he dropped some funny tanks. Also cool. But the air units are already here and they will also take out the tanks, I guess. No, they don't. They just fly away. They have better things to do. Ah, he upgraded them to storm hunters. So they are a pure anti-aircraft unit now. I think against Orcas this is a good decision. Okay. Interesting. So Brezel is building basic tanks with autoloader guns. It is okay. Gatling tanks without upgrade, Dragon tanks. But you're the tank general. The game is no longer in the first few minutes. Inferno can okay, but there is not a lot of infantry you need to take out. You need overlords. You're playing the tank general, you need the biggest tank. That's the thing. And Karl M is expanding like crazy. Brezel is not expanding like crazy. I think the map choice might not be his. I think Karl M has chosen this map because he loves it with Skrin.
Are you ready?
Ah, we have the overlords now. And we have the Emperor Overlord. This is not upgraded at all.
Are you ready?
I think it's a better decision. You need the upgrades because this way it's just a tank with 2 guns and they shoot on ground only. It's not what you're going to need at the moment. It might be okay. But the disc channeler tanks, they are like specialized against tanks. They have these discs that only good against tanks. They do 200% damage. So these guys, they have like 550 HP and do double damage, 62 times 2. And the overlords in comparison, they have 950 HP, so a lot more. They only do 120% damage and they have damage per second 44. So both units, like the enemy unit deals more than double the damage, but has like half the HP. So quite similar, but of course the Emperor Overlord is more expensive than this channeler tanks. So in this case, you don't want to be the Chinese one just building the unupgraded tanks. Oh, now he has the Plasma Overlord. This means it's an energy weapon now. It can no longer be stopped with point defense lasers. Nice, but absolutely not the right tank for this matchup. It's good to have something that breaks point defense lasers, but I think he needs an answer to the air threat and he will not have one. He could still try it with Gatling tanks and rocket tank hunters. These guys can also shoot on air. Would also work, but then the question is why pick the tank general in the first place, since you're just using staple units with no special upgrades and no special bonus. It's not usually what you do if you want to optimize. So he's now going for Karl M. They're meeting in the middle of the bridge between the two sides. And I guess Karl M will just obliterate this army. There's not much Brezel can do. He can of course take his shots. He can like start this insane Inferno fire. Why not? These guys here, Inferno Cannon with Black Napalm upgrade, make this fire. So this fire works like the more fire there is, the longer each flame survives. So to start an Inferno, you need to have a lot shoot in there. And then the flames will flame around a lot. And once they single out, the flames will die out very fast. So here you see now the flames will die out soon. But the fight itself, it is lost for Brezel. Karl M is just pushing in with a lot more stuff. The Storm Hunters come and take out the single air unit. I think he was expecting more air stuff because the Augurs were like crazy. There's an insane amount of planetary assault carriers this time. So not the warships, but the carriers. They would also seal the deal, but I guess it's not even necessary. Force Fleet is cool. Some funny airdrops. The MP totally missed the target. How sad. And I think that's over. He might stop this push somehow, but the follow-up, there's no way. There's no way he can stop it. The Helix is a completely different role. Without upgrades is not really changing anything here. The Helix is also not good for the Tank Hunter. The other Chinese generals have much better upgrade options for it. I think that's over already. Now he's getting some mix, nice decision, but then the Storm Hunters will just take him down. So I think that's over already. Brezel has nothing left that can change the outcome of the game. The carriers are getting ready for a big engagement. And I think Brezel can call the GG here. He might not know what he has, but now he sees it. So, from both sides, the engagement is far, far too much what Brezel can handle here. I think changing to China was an insanely bad idea. But maybe he wanted to avoid another game like the one before, which never ends and is really exhausting. Maybe he thought, I just picked China and my opponent won't know what's going to happen. But he's playing against the Vice World Champion and he won that. So, really good game, really impressive. They both were right. The first game was the awesome one. Nice. See you in the next game.